The next item is council discussion on reopening municipal courts.
This presentation will be done by the court administrator, Ms. Phoenix Gaston.
Ms. Gaston, go right ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is Judge Sheridan on the call as well?
Yes, I'm here on the call. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Well, we want to discuss the backlog. I post COVID-19 and that's March 13th. We were scheduled to have court on March 12th. However, that was the day we got the call from East Point that they were shutting down their facilities due to the COVID-19 all the way through June 5th. We've had 432 cases that remain open, and of that, 27% have been paid and closed. The week of June 15th, we will be starting our virtual court sessions. Our plan for next week will be to have court sessions twice on Tuesday and Thursday with a 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. calendar, respectively. We plan on having 25 defendants on each of those calendars. So the code enforcement cases, so the total cases that we have on the backlog from March 12th through July 31st, we have 1,990 open citations. Yeah, that's a lot. The COVID emergency order, this is where all of the backlog is coming from because there has been a shutdown, or not a shutdown, a suspension of court services. We find ourselves at that 1,990 count.
And if I could chime in right here, keep in mind that prior to COVID, we were getting approximately, in the slide before, around 71% of those individuals paying and closing out their citations. The reality is individuals simply don't pay their citation until days before their court date. So once we reopen and we begin to renotice, we hope to see a lot of these cases being paid before the actual court date.
If you get a citation and you agree that you are guilty of those charges, they are able to go still current to date to our website to go pay at the South Fulton Pay, as well as if they disagree, they have the opportunity to request for the public defender and or hire a private attorney. If they agree, once they speak with the attorney, then they will go and pay. However, if they still disagree, this is where our virtual court will come into play.
And also keep in mind, some offenses cannot be paid online. And in those, they're required to come in front of the judge, such as if you're being under 21, driver's license suspensions, accident cases of that nature are required to come in front of the court.
And they will come in front of the judge and the solicitor and the public defender and or their private attorney. And then we will have a virtual court hearing. Given the decision by the judge, if it's dismissed or if they need to pay, they will then be routed to the website to pay and or routed to probation for additional pay. And because we're virtual, we're not pressed for a location or facility. We can schedule more virtual hearings as needed. The defendants will have the ability to do a probation if they're not able to pay those fines. So the future of municipal court, to date, we are still, renting space from East Point. As it speaks to the safety building, we may not need as much space if we implement the virtual hearings going forward.
Will there be any opportunity for these virtual sessions to be open to the public to see?
So by law, the court sessions have to be open to the public.
Okay.
So what we will be doing is we'll be broadcasting them much like you all broadcast the city council meetings, facilitating them through a YouTube channel of some sort, and also having the Zoom link posted on the municipal court website.
With so much of court, again, looking for savings because we know that we have all of these tough decisions that we'll have to make. I'm not going to call them cuts, I'm going to call them tough decisions. But with so much of court going online, does that change your space requirements in this next year in our public safety center? Like, are there things that we could delay in the build out? Do you need all of that space this fiscal year if we're doing all of these things online?
And I've had this conversation with the city manager as well. Where we are very comfortable where we are, and with the use of the South Fulton Arts Center, I want to be correct, the facility that's on Butner, If we're able to use that on a one-off, like there are some matters that we will have to have in person, some of the more complex cases that we may have for code. If somebody does not have access to online services, we definitely have to make that accommodation for that one-off chance that somebody may need that. But other than that, we are kind of steadfast where we are. We're just taking the ball and running with it. We feel like the virtual court is a win-win for everybody, especially amidst this pandemic. So we are good for right now. So if we had to revisit this conversation in 6 months to see where we are, then that would be a different story. But as of right now, we are good where we are, having no real home is what I would say, and using the virtual aspect of court.
All right, thank you.